Welcome to South Asia Maps. This is your presenter J. Reddy at South Asia Maps. South Asia Maps is an intellectual Kshatriya channel and educational channel. Excuse me for my allergies. Today we are continuing our discussions and presentation on the partition of India or partition of Bharat, balkanization of India or vivisection of India. This is part 20. Partition of India was not done by the British, it was done by Islam, and I have talked extensively on many other previous presentations. You can look at them. Today's particular topic of discussion is, when did Congress cross the Lakshman Rekha? Lakshman Rekha is a point of no return to the previous condition. It's a major monumental decision. It is very hard to tell what is the Lakshman Rekha during partition independence times, but I have taken the liberty to identify two such important, a minor Lakshmana Rekha and a major Lakshmana Rekha. 1 and 2, a small line, a bigger, thicker line. This is Congress Ministry resignation that happened 1939, October 22. 2 months later, the Saiful Islam's All India Muslim League, the sourcemen of Islam, called that event as a day of deliverance that came on 39 December 22. Just for your clarity here, the first minor Rekha is ministry resignation. The next came after 1.5 month, year plus, that is a Quit.India movement on August 1942. I will elaborate these two important points as a part of partition of India, and this is our main educational channel, South Asia Maps. I have posted lot of 150 meticulously made videos for you to look at and comment. You can go and explore them further. This particular presentation I will be putting in the playlist called Partition of India. This is somewhere here. You can see the Partition of India. You can find in the playlist there are already 24 or so presentations. And the intellectual aspect of partition of India work was done by, after partition independence, by 3 scholars and thinkers associated with Voice of India think tank, Trimurti of Hindu Renaissance, Mahayogi Sri Ram Swarup ji, Mahadrishta Sita Goel ji, and Mahagnani Dr. Koenraad Elst from Belgium. You can look at their works further. That gives a deeper ideological connotations that led to the partition of India. Coming to the present presentation, part 20, partition of India. The partition of India is essentially based upon the Quranic theology, Darul Islam, Darul Harb, Mumins and Kafirs, Illam Jahiliya, the ignorant period, the infidels and their land, Darul Harb, to be sworded or subdued. This is the Pakistan, essentially Punjab, Kashmir, Afghania, Khyber, Sindh, Baluchistan, Darul Kafir, Darul Islam, Darul Mumins, This is the Radcliffe line or Allah's line or Partition line. These are the 6 Governor Generals, Crown's representatives, Viceroys from 1921 to 47. Reading Irwin Wellington, they were from 1921 to 36, 3 Viceroys. During 36 to 47, 3 Viceroys. LinlithGow, 36-43, very long duration, wartime, World War II Viceroy, the major events happened. And this Congress Ministry Resignation and Quit.India movement happened. LinlithGow's Viceroyalty time. Then Lord Archibald Wavell, 43 to 47 February. Then finally Louis Mountbatten of Burma. 1939, German leader Adolf Hitler moved his armed forces into Poland. That happened 39 September 3rd. That means the European War, or called World War II, started. 2 years later, His Majesty government declared war on the Nazi Germany, and immediately next day, Viceroy's representative Lord Linlithgow went to All India Radio and announced, India is at war with Germany. India has no territorial or any disputes thousands of kilometers away from Germany, and it was not in our national interest, so many leaders resisted it. And some people were sympathetic to British in long-term interest, and they didn't oppose or they didn't. Later, some actively cooperated. As a result, Congress ministries resigned. There were the 11 provinces. There were 5 or 6 Congress ministries resigned within 1.5 months or so. That resignation came on. The war started in September. October 22, Congress ministries resigned. Immediately, the Saiful Islams, the swordsmen of Islam and Jinnah, called for Muslims in India to celebrate the Day of Deliverance 2 months later. That is the Day of Deliverance. This is the minor Lkshmna REea. The major Lkshmna REea came during the August time. The Congress totally antagonized the British and declared Quit.India movement, but it was not prepared, and they were not in a position to forcefully eject the British from India. That's why Quit.India movement was opposed by many Hindu nationalists like Savarkar and so on. And he said this Quit.India movement should not lead to split India movement. That was exactly happened. During that time, there were constitutionalist, cooperationalist. That means the leaders, they were collaborating with British. Even Congress party itself was not a serious fighter. It collaborated with British in a constitutional way many times. So also Ambedkar's party in Madras Presidency, Ramaswamy party, and all these Hindu Mahasabha also cooperated. Even Savarkar encouraged the Hindus to join the army so that Hindus will be in armed forces and in the coming future conflict. Here the concept of Lakshman Rekha is in Ramayana, where the Lakshmana, he draw a line, a Rekha, here you can see, that should not be crossed by Sita, so that Sita will be safe, because Sita crossed that, giving some alms to Ravana, disguised, so she was abducted. So that Lakshman Rekha is a point of no return. So we have identified 2. 1939, October 22nd, Congress Ministries resignation, and the major Lakshman Rekha during the Quit.India movement. So this is the Lakshman Rekha. In the Western society, they called it a cause of Rubicon. Rubicon is a very small river in northern part of Italy. Crossing the Rubicon means the point of no return. Historically, here the Julius Caesar passed on the bank of Rubicon. That's their European history. The day of deliverance. After the Congress ministries resigned, Jinnah called for the day of deliverance that was celebrated by the Mu'mins, the followers of Islam throughout South Asia, and Jinnah promised Lord Linlithgow active cooperation as a quid pro quo for enhancing the Muslim League demands. Few months after the Congress ministries resigned in October, then November, December, January, February, March, Muslim Leaguers went to Lahore and formally passed the Lahore resolution, that is called Pakistan resolution, in the Bari Doab in the British Punjab province. During the celebrations, you can see the day of deliverance. Here you can see Jinnah, the British collaborationist leader, and Periyar Ramaswamy here, and Viceroys Executive Council member, that is like a cabinet minister, Dr. Ambedkar. So this is the day of deliverance, and the Muslim League leaders celebrating the day of deliverance and offering dua in many parts of India. That is the day of deliverance. So today, essentially, we talked about when did Congress political party made major mistakes, that is the point of no return, antagonizing the British whom they cooperated for so long. That is called crossing the Lakshman Rekha. We have deliberated at this under 2 points: minor Lkshmna REea when the Congress ministries resigned, and a major Lkshmna REea in 1942, Quit.India movement that was prematurely declared by the Congress party without full preparation to eject the British from India, for which the Congress leadership never prepared for it, and that was totally wrong. Even many Congress leaders were not in favor of it. Rajaji and those people who opposed it, and Hindu nationalist leaders like Savarkar and all those people are also quite concerned that Quit.India movement is immature at that time and it will strengthen the Muslim League further. Congress was jailed, and the entire political vacuum that created was occupied by the Muslim Leaguers for 2-3 years. They became very prominent, which was not happened before the Quit.India movement or Congress ministries resignation. So those are the two important events: ministries resignation in 39 October and Quit.India movement. Thank you very much. This is your presenter J. Reddy, and we are talking about Partition of India series or Balkanization of India series. If you like the presentations, please subscribe and comment on the contents and bring it to your friends and other interested members. See you later. This is J. Reddy.